Hello, Daddy, how you doing? Hope Mama's doing okay. It's been 4 years and 11 months now.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, we're in the afternoon already. Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all to this month's edition of Sales Jojo. I'm Oluwaseun by name, Head of Business Development at Autusbridge Consulting. Sales Jojo has been a platform and a forum for sales professionals alike. And Autusbridge has been using this platform to add to our learning by bringing various guests across the globe. And we've been able to get tips to raise our bars of competence and knowledge. So I hope this session again, we'll be able to take home quality lessons to add to our on-the-job experience and training alike. So I would like to welcome Mr. Olubenga Johnson, the CEO of Autusbridge. Mr. Olubenga, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so very much, Sheung. It's my pleasure to be here this afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. And I welcome each and every one of us to yet another edition of Sales Jojo. I'm so happy this afternoon because we have someone very special as our guest. Okay, I'm sure you all know that we have tried as much as possible to bring people from all across, all around the world. And we try to do this every month. This is our modest contribution to the sales community, just like Sheung has said. And then, although we're not able to do it last month for some other reasons, why we're doing, another webinar with Amity University, but that's on the side. But today is a very special one. And then for those that are familiar with us, they know that we usually, come with 2 guests. But today I have someone that I don't want him to share because he has so much to share with us. And I want to, I want to make the best use of his time, for us. So I want to welcome our guest today and also welcome each and every one of us. I mean, for those people that have been, with us in the previous editions. And then for those that are, coming for the first time, you're all welcome. Like Sheung has said, this is a forum for salespeople and, other people who are, revenue inclined. This is a place where we, learn strategies for free, absolutely free. And I'm so delighted that we have someone who has so much to give today. And I believe that at the end of this session today, at the end of this hour, this is going to be one of the best, hours that you have had, in a long time. So before I bring on our guest today, let me quickly read his profile for us to know. I'm sure many of us are familiar with him, but for those of us that don't know him, well, I will oblige us, with a very brief profile. Professor Larry Bale, we call him LB, and he enjoys it because my mentor likes to feel very young. So when you call him LB, it feels very good because he's still kicking and pumping. Okay, so Larry Bale described as a result-oriented agile transformation leader, inspiring world-class leaders to take action even during chaos and get results through resilience. He is a strong believer that opportunities are usually wrapped as challenging impossibilities. He has business transformation experience in leading world-class global firms, including Pfizer Worldwide Biopharmaceuticals, BSN in the Netherlands, and CMOE USA. At Pfizer, he served as executive regional director, redesigning and rebuilding Pfizer afresh from ground zero in Nigeria in 1997 to cover over 32 countries by 2004. He is a professor of Agile Organization Transformation in Business School, Netherlands. He's a world director of World Institute of Action Learning. He is a board member of Forbes Business Council. He is also a board member of Stetson University, TLAC, Florida, USA. He's also he's an alumni of Haggai Leadership International. He is a distinguished Toastmaster, the president of Entrepreneurs Organization between 2019 and 2020. He is a member of Ikoyi Club 1938. He is married to his childhood friend, Ife, and blessed with children. Now, let me also continue with what is not on the profile. Okay, he is my mentor, right? He is a powerful cheerleader for me. He is someone who has exposed me to places that I have never dreamed of. I mean, people are asking me, how did you get here? They never knew, you know, I mean, there's a saying that when you climb, it's because you are sitting on the shoulder of giants. Professor Darey is one giant that has offered his shoulder for me to sit on at so many times. And I'm so delighted to have him this afternoon. And I also want to let every one of you know that I am also a product, I'm a graduate of the Business School, Netherlands. I mean, if you could see clearly, my certificate is there. And I like to boast that I have distinction, okay? So please, everyone, join me to welcome Professor Darey this afternoon, and I wish us an exciting time. And just quickly, please, you know, we are using a paid version of Zoom, but I mean, we'll still depend on each and every one of us to ensure that we are mute so that we can get the best of this time, you know, for us to enjoy, you know, the best of our lunchtime today. So good afternoon, everyone. And please welcome, please, in your own, just as you are mute, please let's clap for Professor Darey. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Gbenga, for your kindness, for that beautiful, laudable introduction. Gbenga was a seed that was planted in BSN a few years ago, was watered by BSN, but today has become an oak tree, bigger. So it's not sitting on anybody's shoulder. We are the one perching on his branches now. So thank you. Gbenga, please tell the lady to give me a co-hosting right so that I can share my slide. And then please check your WhatsApp so that I can get the best in terms of.
You have been made a co-host, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. I appreciate it. Oh yes, I can find it now. I can find my file now. My name is Darey, and it is spelled B-A-L-E. And that's very important to me, but in reality, LB is the one, the way Gbenga has introduced me, the most wonderful way. But two things you have to remember about me, LB, which are my initials. Number two is the fact that I'm a teacher who work with chalk and blackboard. So I'm actually a TO, teacher Oko. So, and I'll be sharing with you my little knowledge. And before I start this presentation, it's important for you to know that I've been in sales. I've worked in a department called sales. I've worked in production. I've worked in sales. I've worked in marketing. I've worked in strategy department. Those three departments. Before I became a senior executive, who now became a leader and who could oversee multiples of various departments. I was the chief strategy officer for Pfizer, and in the old Pfizer, which became Nimet now, and I eventually became the acting country manager for the new Pfizer. And before I became a regional executive director. So I'll be sharing with you today how to align sales and marketing functions for optimizing business performance. Only because of my presentations, I'll be addressing some pertinent questions. So some of the questions it's part of my primary goal is to address some of the questions. Number one, is it necessary for an organization to have both sales and marketing departments? It will depend on the how deep is the function of sales separated from the function of planning and strategy development. For organizations that require very in-depth development of strategy and wanted an operational excellence that is second to none, they will separate both. Please, I'm discussing department. So, but bear in mind from the beginning, because I have to say some things that people have to have a paradigm shift and understand. So during the course of my lecture, I will explain to you why there's a separation of sales and marketing department, even though both of them are one. So that's part of the thing I wanted to do that. When I've had an MBA holder who came to my office in the 90s, I was telling me that sales and marketing are totally different. I said, no, they are one. They are the same thing, but one is focused on this aspect, the other is focused on another aspect. Financial institutions, they call their supposedly sales people marketers. They are correct, because selling is an integral part of marketing. So that's why they call them marketers. So, and you are going to see how sales is an integral part of marketing by presentation. Which one is superior to the other? None. So it's just to look at it and say, husband and wife, the husband is superior. So then when you now explain, you say the wife is the neck, the husband is the head. And so it is the neck that directs the head to where it wants it to move. So if the neck decides not to move and the head wants to move, so the head is going to break and go. So both of them are equally, it's not a case of superiority. It's like a value chain. The product has to be available before it can be available, before it can be sold by the distributor, by the retailers. So how can the fire of distrust and lack of appreciation between the two men be quenched? I'll be addressing that during the course of this presentation. Between marketing and sales, is there a way to eliminate the different mindset? That will be addressed during the course of this presentation. And the difficulties of understanding each other when they discuss customer needs or pricing. The reality of it is that the salesman is the representative of the customer. You see, a salesman is paid by a company to defend the interests of the customer is outside the company. So a salesman usually does not even want a price increase because he's speaking the mind of his customer. So he's paid by the company to defend the interests of the customer who are outside the company. And so that's why salespeople don't normally like price increase. But the moment you explain the totality of the picture to them from a marketing strategy perspective, they take it because they know that it might be easy to sell this product at $50 or 50 naira. They can sell that quantity. At 100 naira, they say the sales is going to be poor, but the profitability will be better. And the resources that the salesman is looking for it will be inside that increased pricing. So when sales and marketing sit together, they can agree at a pricing that is mutually beneficial. That is not too high as to turn several customers away, but good enough to protect profit and to even grow profit. I can put an end to the blame game. I told you I'm going to be sharing that. Marketer blame salesmen for not executing to otherwise lead generation. Sales caller the lack of approaching marketing content. It's because we are looking at ourselves as if we are in a dichotomy form, as if we are different. We are not. We are on the same continuum. We are on what is called the 400-meter relay race. So when somebody runs the first and so 400, it gives it to another. Another person hands it over to another. That's the way it is. So, and we have to agree that if somebody slows down, it affects the other. If sales is not doing well, it affects marketing objective. If marketing is not doing well, it affects sales objective. So, what are the key goals? I mean, who is to be blamed when targets are not met? Like I mentioned, both. Marketing created awareness management and so. Are there really differences between sales and marketing function? No, there's not. Why do most companies incentivize sales people separate from marketing team? It has to do with myopia. You can't give incentive to sales people and you don't give incentive to marketers. Marketers are supposed to have incentive. Indeed, under the balanced scorecard methodology, you cannot give incentive to marketing and sales and forget the people you call back office, the manufacturing, the logistics, the accountant. Everybody is entitled to incentive because we are all serving the customer. Imagine what happens if production does not make product available. Marketing has done very good strategy, has implemented a good campaign. Sales have done extensively to generate sales, but the products are not available. You can't have revenue. That's why even people who are in production should therefore have an incentive. Imagine what happens if all that you have done is not properly banked well. The accountant does not give full idea of those who are owing and those who are not owing. You're just selling. And you know, salesmen like to sell on credit, really, because the most incentive is given to them on basis of the sales they have made. But for me, sales is not complete unless cash has been collected. So when I tell you that if we hit this target, you get this incentive. If we hit 1,000 naira, I pay you 100 naira. That's an incentive. Am I correct? So I give you, since you are giving me 1,000 naira on paper, I give you 100 naira as incentive on paper. If your cash, part of that 1,000 is 70%, I give you 70% of 100 naira. It is what has been paid for that should be paid. Otherwise, that should be paid incentive for. Otherwise, if you just pay incentive on basis of overall turnover, and you don't care that it is paid for a cash or not, it's a double edge. You're actually burning your candles at both edges. Salesmen are selling on credit, and the little cash they are bringing in, you are still taking that of that cash and you are paying them for goods that have not been paid for. Then you'll be borrowing money to run your business. So somebody will believe that cash is king. So if your incentive is 100 naira and the cash aspect of the money you brought is 70%, your incentive that will be paid to you for that quarter will also be 70% of the incentive that you have won. So it is cash. You bring cash, I pay you cash. You don't bring cash, I don't pay you cash. I will tell you that you also won. And so it will be on paper that you won incentive, that you never have it. So who is responsible for success failure of a product? Is it marketing or sales? I deliberately wanted Benga to mention that I've had cost-to-head marketing and sales, marketing, sales, and training across 32 countries. Because you see, this is something that I had to battle for a long period from 1990 to 2006, for 16 years. And I can understand how people feel when we tell them the truth. So, and I want to say upfront that marketing is not superior to sales. Sales is not superior to marketing. They are working for the same goal, for the same set of objectives. So let's therefore move into, so how do we understand the difference? Understand the difference between selling and marketing tricky because the difference between two is very subtle. One good definition, that marketing is all about getting people interested in your company, product, or service, while sales is basically about selling those products and services. So one is about raising awareness, interest, desire to take decision. The other is to help in accelerating decision-making to take action. So it's a continuum. And somebody starting to sow seed. Another person is tending the seed. Another person is harvesting the fruits. So marketing has a tendency to sow idea, to water it.
Hello, everyone. I'm sorry, I guess we lost him briefly. Let's just hold on a bit for him to come back. Please, let's just give him a few minutes to join us back.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, you're back, sir. So, yes.
Sorry. I think it's the network that created. Okay. So, can you see the screen?
Yeah.
It's coming on, sir.
It's coming
Okay, fine.
Yes, it's on, sir. Yes, it's on.
Sales are about selling those products and services. So the promotional mix shows that the concept of marketing is made up of product, price, and place. And I'm talking of traditional marketing. Promotion is the fourth P. Today, there are 9 P's of marketing, but let's just work with these basic P's for now. 9 P's in textbook, about 12 P's in the journal. Profit, politics, power are in addition to the 9 P's. So, and it's been published in peer-reviewed journals. So now, when you look at promotion, which is an aspect of the 4 P's of marketing, promotion itself is made up of advertising, public relations, personal selling, sales promotion, digital marketing, direct marketing, and guerrilla marketing. So personal selling that we refer to as sales is an integral part of promotion. And promotion is one of the 4 P's of marketing. So salesmen are an integral part of marketing. But because of the nature of marketing required both planning, strategy creation, strategy planning, and it also requires strategy implementation. And part of strategy implementation, so the 4 P's require strategy creation, strategy planning, and strategy implementation. When you are now implementing the promotion part of marketing, you need specific human beings, personnel to relate with your customer. That's where salesmen came in. And that's why organizations that want to do well, they will not separate sales and marketing to the level of the CEO. They will get them to be integrated as much as possible. And in Pfizer, where I used to work, they are called division director. I was division director before I became country manager. Now, when you become a division director, you are in charge of both sales, marketing, and field force training. And that makes you to integrate the 3 properly. Because the training, why it is not placed in HR, is that the field force training is peculiar. And at times, it's not just based on gap analysis. It is based on strategy as to where you are going. And so when you consolidate it as an integral part of manpower development in HR, it can be mixed. So selling, the skill for selling is very special. It has technical skill, it has human skill in it, it has conceptual skill in it, and it has, technical, human, conceptual, and other forms of skill. Emotional intelligence and the rest of them is included. And because of that, salesmen are treated and are trained very specially. So of all the elements of promotion, salesmanship is where you spend most of the money. And it's the one that will determine either you succeed or you don't succeed. While advertising and promotion can be about 10 to 15% of total cost of marketing. Personal selling can account for as much as about 25% of total sales of the company itself. So it means personal selling is one of the most important. That's why marketers are interested in the activities of salesmen, particularly when the departments are separated. So sales and marketing may look as if they are going through different routes, but they are going to the same location. Their destination is the same. They may take different routes. So often sought and rarely achieved advantage is only way of marketing. So it's important for us to know that aligned teams work more effectively and better. And the objective today is to therefore find a way within which we can secure alignment to ensure that in spite of the dynamics, the office politics, we must ensure that sales and marketing are aligned, because the misalignment can create problem in the future. So what is sales and marketing alignment? It's shared system of communication. They share strategy. They share goals. It allows them to operate as if they are one company. So the finance guy cannot say I'm not part of the company. So the HR cannot say I'm not part of the company. So working together can deliver impact marketing. They, at times, we find that from history, because they thought that sales and marketing are different, they work inside, and they are segmented from one another. They will hold the top of the funnel, sales hold the bottom. But today, marketing has to be interested in right from the top of the funnel to the end of the funnel. It must be interested from the bottom of the funnel to the top side of the funnel. And they must be in a position to talk and say, why are you? And get to level to say, why are you doing this strategy? It's not going to work. So that's why marketing, if you want to succeed in marketing, you must carry the sales people along from the beginning. As a marketing person who have been in sales, I felt alienated when I was in sales. So when I became a brand manager, I share with a select group of salesmen using Pareto's principle. I will look for this 20% of the salesmen that I count for 80% or 30% of salesmen that I count for 70%. I will have a special session with them. I will ask them to give me inputs into all the ideas, including the creativity on the paper, on the brochure I'm developing, the market research. I've therefore exposed to them the results of the market research that blame sales for some things, that blame market. I will be very open to them. Then they say, didn't we tell you? Then by the time we are now implementing the strategy nationwide, I already have people who have bought into it. I will have modified the original idea. So today, it's no longer possible to linearly finish marketing and say, I'm adding over to sales. No. Before I became marketing manager, marketing people stay in the office. All they need to do to be a marketing strategist is to have an MBA. No, MBA is not enough to be a marketing manager. If you want to be a marketing manager, go to sales and work first. Be on the field. Have an experience for 1 year, 2 years. Know how difficult it is to sell. When you get to the office, you will not be preparing some impossible strategies or irrelevant strategy that cannot be implemented, because most of the strategy that marketing bring out, they are just good on paper. They cannot be implemented in our environment. But when you have worked on the field and you have worked with field men, it becomes practical. So customers are always engaging brands long before they purchase. Marketing did do that. Now, clunky hands-off and duplicate communication can sour a buyer's perception. When the marketing person is telling the customer one thing and the salesman is saying a different thing. So that's why there should be alignment of communication, everything. And I will tell you, I launched a product some years ago, and the product is supposed to be used for acute musculoskeletal disorder. How did we get the word acute musculoskeletal disorder? We got it from US and Europe. That's the name they call the pain. Pain traceable to muscle, bone, joint, things like that. But the salesman, so we just took the material that these people said have been very successful in other countries. We just brought it here and changed the address of location from US to Nigeria, removed some things we think is too complicated for Nigerian doctors, and we started to sell. The product didn't sell. The salesmen were doing their best. It didn't sell. The salesman didn't know the reason why it was not selling. We didn't know why it was not selling. We advertised, it wasn't selling. So we did a survey. We normally do a post-launch survey 1 year after the launch of a product, 9 months to 1 year. So we did a post-launch survey. And when we met medical doctors who are supposed to be recommending this drug and writing prescription, what they told us is that your English in this brochure is too much. You wrote acute musculoskeletal disorder. We don't call it that name in Nigeria. We say, what do you call it? We call it post-operative pain, post-traumatic pain. Is that all? Say that's all. We went back to the office. We changed the title wherever we put AMS, which means acute musculoskeletal. We just changed it to acute musculoskeletal disorder. We changed it from acute musculoskeletal disorder to post-operative pain, post-traumatic pain. What's the difference? It's the same thing when you go into the dictionary or you Google. The post-operative pain speaks about the condition, pain traceable to operation. The post-traumatic pain, pain traceable to trauma. So as soon as we change the language to the language of our customers, the salesman found out that it was easy for them to close sales. Within 1 year over the other, we grew 60%. Even though the entire company itself grew by about 20%, that product grew by 60%, 3 times the rate of the average growth of the company. Please, let everybody mute. Kayode, please mute. You are disturbing us. What this means is that we have to find a way to ensure that we do not hand off or duplicate communication. Let's be saying the same thing. I mean, it should, so everybody was now alignment, like I mentioned to you. So I was told I was going to use an hour, but I've been told it's only 30 minutes now to 40 minutes. So I will do my best. So
no, sir. No. Hello, sir. Please, sir. Please go on, sir. I thought we were going to ask the questions, but since you have incorporated the questions into
okay,
it, please go on,
so
sir.
You must function like one organization. You must approach how you think, the way of approaching how you think about education, including goals, process, communication, overlap, how you can optimize them together. That means your goals must be agreed upon together. A marketing cannot set goals and hand it over to sales. No, not even for new products. For new products, this is what I do. I sit down with the sales managers. I tell them, this is the market in Europe, the market in US, the market, and then I choose some peculiar market like Italy, like Argentina. I look at market that is similar to us in terms of profiling, in terms of demographics. 5% of the population in the upper class, 25% in the middle class, 71% in the lower class. And then I explain to them, our percentage, when we translate to real money, to real figure, is 5% of 200 million people. 5% of 200 million people is 10 million. So 10 million Nigerians are in the upper class. This is the market. This is so. What can we do? Then I will be optimistic. I say, what do you think we can do? On their own, you say, the way you people be in marketing things, you think you can just take over the market everywhere? Are there no competitors there? Will you be 100% market share? You say no. So what market share can we start with in the first year? We generate it. Then we calculate what money to bring us with that market share also. So as we work both sides, they make a market share, we let them know what the P&L will look like based on the amount of money we want to spend, based on feed force efforts, and so on and so forth. And then we start to balance to ensure that within 1 to 2 years, we can break even. And so we start. So that target that they are starting with for new products, they are an integral part of the sales target, goals. The process, what role marketing planning will play, what role salesmen will do, what we are going to do before launch. But because salesmen also participate in pre-launch awareness, it's not just marketing. So they participate. So the communication, where we meet and what we need to do. Ladies and gentlemen, core marketing is building brand awareness, marketing, public relations, generating demand, creating, updating sales, and managing the customer experience. Sales responsibilities about generating revenue, managing relationship with customer, managing pipeline, integrity planning, optimizing sales. But S marketing is normally referred to an integration of sales and marketing. It's a cross-functional input into go-to-market strategies. So before you go to market, you must meet. There will be close sales content feedback loop. Every day, the salesman is providing feedback because the salesman is the representative of the customers in the company. So they are providing feedback to marketing on a daily basis. They are not waiting till the end of the quarter. So that as marketing is planning for next quarter tactic or strategy, marketing is already aware of how the market is responding to current strategy. Seamless handoff between marketing and generated leads and sales. Marketing generates leads, you hand it over seamlessly to sales. Sales saw an opportunity, he hands it over to marketing to go and do the necessary pre-marketing. So transparent shared goals and objectives, consistent customer experience, that's where S marketing lies. Bear this in mind that what does marketing do for sales? Marketers focus on guiding buyers through the early stages. Once a deal is closed, and so there's something called the buyer's journey, preparation for engagement with sellers later. So called customer journey. So many of them will also continue to market customer in order to deliver additional solutions. That means to support sales, marketing must educate buyers. They must nurture and qualify leads. You must provide competitive intelligence. You must influence the market, you must constantly engage customers. One of the things I found out when I got to marketing was that salespeople, they normally qualify their customers as A, B, C. A customers are usually the high profile customers. B is the next. That's
You
it.
must be able to, but I don't like that.
And they spend Uncle Yisa Belu, we are disturbing us. And then they spend a lot of time focusing on A. Marketers don't like customers to be classified into ABC. They prefer customers to be classified into 4 boxes. A, B, C, D. Cost based on relationship and potential. Customers, so when you talk of low potential, high potential, and relationship, low relationship, high relationship. The customers that already have high relationship with and they have high potential, the salesman spends a lot of time with them, naturally. These are customers you have good relationship with, and they sell large quantity of your goods. And so you feel comfortable with them. You spend more time with them. But a business cannot grow if you spend too much time with them. You just need to spend time to maintain relationship with them. You spend more time with people with high potential where you do not have strong relationship with. They are already enjoying strong relationship with competitors. So based on Pareto's principle, 50% of your time will be spent on customers that has a high potential, but for which you do not have a good inroad. You have not built excellent relationship with. 50% of your time. 30% of your time with customers who are buying big, they have high potential, and you have a good relationship with. And 20% of your time will be used for those people that you know has some level of, you have good relationship, and they have a potential in the future to become high potential, because you don't need to maintain some relationship with them. If salesmen naturally by human nature, we gravitate towards the people we love, people who celebrate us. If the only people who celebrate you are the people you are meeting, the moment they are won over by competition, you lose your sales. So it makes sense for you to keep on generating people, new people with high potential, and you are building better relationship with them. So because of this, it takes time for marketing to educate sales, to understand the strategic importance of people of high importance. And so that's part of the job of marketers. What does sales do for marketing? Sales decide. It doesn't mean that sales does not support marketing. They offer a wealth of valuable insights into buyers because they are much more, they are closer to customer. And because of great alignment, they do real-world solution application. They provide information on market dynamics, customer health, process efficiency, and content validity. That is the content of the document you are using, if it's working or not, that Google is going to tell you. By delivering these customers' intelligence on a regular basis and faster than customer can deliver to marketing. Marketing becomes up to date, understanding buyers' pain points and needs, and therefore better able to execute. I must state at this point, almost immediately, that if I go to marketing, I realize that marketers spend about 95% of their time in the office. They are relating to advert agency, market research agency. They will say they are doing strategy. What strategy? Strategy is not about creation of strategy. It's about execution. Strategy is not complete until it is successfully executed. And because salesmen are the people who execute the final strategy, it makes more sense for a salesperson, a marketing person, to spend not less than 40% of his time with the salesmen working on the field, showing them that this strategy is practicable. Because when a new strategy comes, the salesman will assist. Remember the laws of motion. Everybody continues in a state of rest of uniform motion, let's compare by external forces. That is, the salesman will continue to do what they enjoy to do, unless there is an external force. A new strategy, therefore, means a salesman has to change the way they do things, and they will assist it. Unless you are there with them to show them that it demonstrated to them it is practicable. That's why I say a good marketer is the one who has been in sales before. Not the guy who is coming fresh from the university who has a PhD in marketing. No, marketing is different. Theory of marketing is different from practice of marketing. Totally different. Teaching theory in class is totally different from practicality. So a good marketer spends 40% of his time working with salesmen, demonstrating that the strategy is possible, understanding the shortfall and shortcomings of the strategy. He goes back to the office to correct, therefore work with the promotion team, works with the advertising and agency, work with the integrated marketing agencies, work with the marketing research people, and all the various other third-party agencies, outsource agencies, to ensure that what the salesman wants and what the customer wants is being done. Because the marketer is the representative of the salesman inside the office. The salesman is the representative of the customer who work for the organization. But the marketer is the representative of the salesman inside the office. So it's by working therefore with the salesman. When a marketer has reached a point of maturity, he starts to spend 60% of his time with salesmen and 40% of his time in the office. That marketer, so a marketing manager can spend 60% of his time with salesmen and 40% in his office. Why? Because he's able to be the eyes of marketing and to therefore come back and tell the brand manager, this is not working. We need to change this. We need to do this. And that's the way it's supposed to be. A marketer's place is not in an air conditioned office, it's on the field. I'm sorry, the marketer may not like this, but that is the truth. So, what are the main problems? The main problem is poor customer data. In terms of that, these problems can be resolved through alignment. Because through alignment, both the salesman and the marketer can gather data. They can interpret the data correctly. Let me explain one data that I gathered as a marketing manager years ago. There used to be a product called Combantrain. It's a worm expeller. And as marketer, brand MBA holder from the University of Lagos. And I used to be in sales, and I had the MBA. And MBA people are usually very arrogant, very arrogant. When they want to introduce themselves, they want you to know that they have an MBA. Instead of saying, my name is Darey, they say, my name is MBA, Darey, MBA, Bale, MBA. They just want you to know they have MBA. So we thought through it in marketing as a brand manager. I said, oh, I have Combantrain, which is 6 tablets to be swallowed at once by adults to kill worms. Bicham, a company called Bicham, which is an integral part of DSK now, has another product called Zenter, which is 2 tablets for one. Another company called ICI has another product called Ketrax, which is 3 tablets. It makes, and Combantrain was a market leader, number 1. We've been in market for many years, so we are well established, and it was one of the biggest products, second biggest product for the company. And as brand manager for this product, in fact, it's the single biggest OTC product, and I was a brand manager. So what I did those years in '86 was to find a way to do a research that shows that, I just sat in my office. I didn't do research. I sat in my office and did the research among the staff. And I said, how can we beat Ketrax so that we can meet, I've just read something about guerrilla marketing as a book that says you meet the competition, you go to competition and each competition below the bed. And I was so excited. So we made Combantrain by 3 tablets. And when you want to convert Combantrain by 6 to 3, it has to be double strength. So we made double strength per tablet. So it's now 3 tablets. And it was such a powerful campaign we ran. For 1 year, we didn't sell Combantrain by 3. We didn't do market research. Our salesmen believed that what we've done was also right. We didn't even need to ask salesmen what's your opinion, because we just felt Combantrain by 3 should say it is logic now. Combantrain by 3, double dose. It's easier to swallow 3 tablets than to swallow 6 tablets. No, so we went to the market, but we were not selling. After about a year, we did a survey, post-launch survey. And we asked the customer, why are you not selling Combantrain? But they don't know. It's not just selling. With all the money we spent on advertisement. So we did a consumer survey. Consumer, not customer survey. Consumer. Our customers are the retailers, and the consumer, the end user. And we asked them, do you know about Combantrain? Do you know about worm expeller? We know. Which of the worm expeller do you know? Majority said Combantrain. Which Combantrain do you know? We have Combantrain for suspension. We use it for children. We have Combantrain. I normally deworm my children every quarter. Combantrain tablets I use. Once in a while, when I feel stomach, I use Combantrain tablets. So which of the tablet do you use? I use by 6. Are you aware of the double strength converting by 3? Yes. Do you use it? No. Why don't you use it? Pfizer, the chairman of Pfizer is an Ijebuman. I think he has reduced the tablets to 3 as a way to save money. So, but the 6, so why do you prefer the 6? You know, you say converting can kill 6 worms. So I'm thinking that each of the tablets is for different worms. So that's why I use the 6. But the other tablets like Zentel, they are not promoted for 6 worms. They are usually for 3 to 4 worms. So I don't use them. So they have misinterpreted the 6 tablets to be for 6 worms, even though it's the same chemical that is in each of the tablets. And so at times, when you do not go to collect consumer data, even the salesman is dealing with the customer. So at times you have to go beyond the salesman to collect consumer data in order to get it. And it is when sales and marketing are fully aligned that consumer, under utilization of sales content, majority of 65% of marketing content go unused by sales because the sales do not even know why that content is there in the brochure. So the job of a marketer becomes better when you align salesman in all your strategy and whatever you want to do. So there's nothing I do in BSN today that the people are in sales, the front, we don't call them salesmen, but we don't want them to feel that they are salesmen. We call them business development managers. That is, they have a strong knowledge of selling, but they also have sufficient knowledge of marketing. Yet we have integrated marketing communication unit that drives marketing communication. And there's not integrated marketing communication wants to do. They must, first of all, clear it with sales. They must have input. You cannot start a campaign without the business development people having input. No matter how stupid the inputs will look like, they must have input. Because it is them who will defend whatever is going to the public. So for that reason, as we solve this problem, the clunky lead hands off is resolved. That is a station where marketing says, this is the end of my job. And this is the beginning of your there's nothing like that. It must ensure that it is, and then it's usually difficult to demonstrate return on investment for marketers. It's easy for salesmen to say, I hire one more salesman, sales jump up by 10%. I hire 2 more, sales jump up by 20%. But for marketing at times, it's very difficult to discuss return on investment. But it is possible when both of you work together to identify the fact that we have not increased the number of salesmen, but we have changed our strategy, our communication. It appears the role of this has affected this. The inefficiency in this particular place, our inability to understand where investment is needed can be resolved. Because salesman will say, no, don't put too much money on radio. Put it a little bit in newspaper. Don't put too much money in newspaper. Put a little bit in social media. And it is this feedback that, because my category of customers, they don't watch television. They check their things on their phone. And so these are things, but marketers are much more interested in coming up with high-valuing things. The thing that America is doing, they saw it on CNN yesterday, they want to practice it in Nigeria. But the demographic profile is different. And you know, marketers, they pride themselves in innovation. Even if that innovation will not lead to increased sales, it doesn't matter. I'm the first to start this in Nigeria. Billboard, even though the people you are selling to may not be watching Billboard. So it's important for us to therefore, then when there's a stagnant growth, both of us can come together and say, why are we not selling well? In 1992, I gathered the best brains in marketing, sales, account, manufacturing. I gathered them together. And I said, this set of products called Zozidinol, 5 products, they are not selling as fast as we wanted. What do we need to do to double the sales? The guy who gave us the solution to the problem was a guy in finance. Finance guy. He just asked us to twinkle with the incentive. And we said, why should we twinkle with the incentive? Profitability is not very high. I said, no. Don't sell based on budget. Give the salesman double the budget for them to sell, but contribute the incentive. When you double the budget to sell, and you do not increase salesmen, you do not increase cost of marketing, the only thing you are increasing is incentive, but you multiply the incentive by 4 times. Because the salesmen, they are hungry to make money as incentive. At the end of the following year in 1993, those products, they did not double their sales. They grew by 83%. That is, they did 183% of the budget. They did not do 200%. And I can tell you the truth. It was the beginning of me being seen like a whiz-kid in the company. I've done many notable things in the past. But after I did that, they thought it was an error being done 1 year. They wanted it the following year. We repeated the same feat the following year. We repeated the same feat the 3rd year. Before you say Jack Robinson, the category of product that I was managing had moved from 40% of contribution to the business to 60%. But the profitability of the side I was responsible for has grown from 50% to 75% profitability contribution. What this means is that it was clear that there was a whiz-kid making things happen in Nigeria. I was asked to go to France to work. As I was coming back from France, I was appointed as a director. The reality of it is that when you learn how to work closely with salesmen, it helps the marketer to shine, and it helps the salesman to shine, and the business will not. So if your business is growing, you can no longer afford to ignore this misalignment. You should consider merging both teams together. When I talk about the word merging, there must be a manager or a director that integrates sales, marketing, and field force efficiency. The field force efficiency includes training. Field force efficiency includes market research. This market research is different from the one that the salesman is giving to you. The market research includes mystery shopping. It includes checking on because when salesmen write reports, brand managers don't read them. And salesmen do not give genuine reports. Salesmen, when they are writing weekly report, they say, anything in competition, they just write, no. They want to complete that form and submit it. Then the quarter ends, they are writing and they say, we are not sending. They say, why are you not sending? They say, competition. Say, but throughout the last 13 weeks, you wrote dash on that competition. I thought there was no competition, that competition was dead. They said, no, they are still there, they are there. I said, why didn't you write? You know now, there's no time for writing. I'm not a marketing person. There's no time to be writing all this long story. But they need to have been writing that report to let the marketing people know that competition has changed. Competition is evolving. New product is coming. The old product has changed in positioning and so on and so forth. Now, the field force efficiency job, apart from sales, marketing, is that the field force efficiency, which is an integral part of SM, they help in the alignment of sales and marketing. They go to the market, they go to the field, they interview customers, they interview consumers, they feedback, they enforce some of the things that the salesmen have said. You know, the salesman is supposed to cover identity, is not covering it well. If the field force efficiency, the manager in charge of field force efficiency that's going to come back and say, the salesman has not been to this territory for more than a month, even though by our strategy is supposed to call in this territory not less than 4 times in a month. So it's what he's going to tell, because the manager of that salesman may not report in the office. You know what the manager says, what do they do? When they go to the field to do work with the salesman, they compromise themselves. They stay in the hotel. They tell the salesman to give them Bodino be wood. And then they arrange Bodino be wood, they enjoy it. Then they tell the guy, okay, what have we agreed? Okay, I hope you are doing work well. They say yes. So they go to 1 or 2 customers and then they move to the next territory. That's really what happened. Don't let us deceive ourselves. The job of the field force efficiency is to be an independent person who is telling management, marketer is not doing what they are supposed to do. Salesmen are not doing what they are supposed to do. The consumer is complaining. The customer is complaining. So this is part of the job of field force efficiency team. So sales and marketing alignment is a long-term strategy. When you align them, you can use it to increase revenue by as much as 34%. Misalignment costs as much as $1 trillion per year. So not 1 million, not 1 billion, 1 trillion in the globe, across the globe, according to what I got. Number for stagnation. Why additional revenue stagnation was decline? Number one is generating more leads from demand. Why is your top market? Just listen, what is your top marketing priority? Generation of more leads and demand. Converting leads to customer revenue is number two. Sales and marketing alignment is number three. Understanding the return on investment in whatever I do is number four. Reducing the cost of customer acquisition is number five. Market, so you can therefore know that even marketers know that misaligned sales and marketing is not aligned. It's number three problem. So up to 60 to 70% of business to business content is not being used. And close to 75% of marketing leads were never converted into a sale. That is a sign of misalignment between sales and marketing. And that huge figure that 75% of marketing leads are never converted to sale is a sign that sales did not close on market leads. So if this sounds familiar, then this is the time to address the sales and marketing alignment. If you don't, your business is not likely to grow any further. The answer is S marketing. S marketing is sales and marketing fully integrated. Because both of them are equally important, I've answered this question. They are equally important on the weight. Is not one is not, but the two has to be well balanced. The two must be firing with the two cylinders. It helps you to increase your customer base and it helps you to become a world-class leader. So 95% of world-class sales leaders are aligned with marketing. So, and bear in mind, alignment generates 30% or 34% according to Aberdeen Group. It generates higher brand awareness, average deal size also increases. The numbers tell the story where alignment is worth the effort. Sales and marketing are aligned in the blue. They are all others. So annual company revenue, you can see, numbers tell the story. Sales and marketing aligned organizations is better. Brand awareness is better. Average deal size is better when sales and marketing are aligned. Alignment drives growth. According to Cyrus Edition research, he found that company that aligns sales and marketing achieve 24% faster growth rate, 27% faster profit growth. In theory, it sounds great, but does it work? Yes, it does. So, evolution of sales and marketing, I've already shared this to show that gone are the days about ABC of closing sales, whereby to approach sales using cold call to find new prospects. So, today's sales is part of the wider marketing mix. The reason is that sales techniques alone can no longer work. So there's something called finance for non-finance managers. I had that when I became a manager in 1985. Finance for non-finance managers, what of the courses I have to go and sit for before I started my work in marketing as a manager. And when I became marketing manager, I realized that the finance guy did not know anything about sales and marketing. The production did not know anything about sales and marketing. The treasury people, they put so much pressure on us in sales and marketing. So I organized marketing for non-marketing staff. I got the sales people, I got the finance, the production, the treasury, the accounts to do that course as well. Then they started to understand the fact that some of the things we do are investment. They're not just selling. So how much of purchase sales is happening online? 92% of people start with information side. 52% buyers find that ongoing line and research is superior. 25% of buyers depends on social networks to learn about choosing the right vendor. 90% of buyers won't take a cold call. So because of all these, people should not think that because we are going online, salesmen are not useful again. No, salesmen are still useful. That's the point that I'm making. Indeed, salesmen are going to help in moving people to online, even if we want them to move to online soon. Another is because of funnel, which represents the sales and marketing process with the business as to change. Sales automation tools, marketing software, introduction. We are able to collect a wide range of data of prospects. We are now more data-driven, but a sales-driven funnel as it used to be is now more of marketing-driven funnel. Because of that, there's a need therefore for overlap and to have a thorough understanding. So before, marketing was responsible for awareness, interest, and part of consideration. Sales used to be responsible to move people who are considering the product to make it an intent, to make it a desire to evaluate and to decide to take action and purchase. Today, marketing roles has moved under e-commerce to cover awareness, interest, consideration, intent, and evaluation. But between evaluation and purchase, it's the salesman that will close the deal. That guy who sits in the office and make a cold call on phone, not necessarily physically the person and say, have you seen this online? Let me take you through the online methodology to get the best out of your purchase online. That's a salesman, not a marketing person, even though it's referred to as a marketer. So you must bear this in mind. In aligning sales and marketing to be fully interwoven, we'll be able to attract, inform, and retain more customers. As marketing department, that is a department that integrates sales and marketing, will play a crucial role. Either you have a director who oversees marketing, sales, and workforce efficiency, or you create a manager for that, whatever name it, either at the director level, at the manager level, there must be total integration, or somebody who has worked on both sides, who is not coming from one side to load it. When you see people who have come from business school to become marketing, and they become a commercial director overseeing both marketing and sales, what you see them do that they favor marketing and they treat sales as outsider, even though they're in charge of sales. When you see people became commercial director coming from the pathway of sales, they will favor sales and they will be using marketing just like the small support group whose idea is just book theory. No, a good commercial director, a good integrator, a good person who aligns sales and marketing will be well balanced on both sides. Would have been a salesman, would have been a marketing person, and we know what needs to be done. How do we align? Half of sales marketing professionals don't feel they are well aligned. How to align sales and marketing in your business is very simple. One, share your goals. You must share your goals together. Number two, share purpose. Sharing goals, share purpose is the art of aligned goals. So your intention in marketing from the beginning will be made known to this. Number two, create a single customer journey. The entire customer journey, the salesman must know it. There's nothing like we are in charge of awareness. Sales, you have no business. No, the salesman must sit. When you are doing your marketing planning or your brand planning, when you are reviewing it before it is approved by country manager, you bring the salesman, the top performing salesman, the district manager, the district sales manager, they sit in that hall. They will criticize your draft brand plan, and they will tell you this one will not work, this one will work. Because they form an integral part of the process. By the time you send it to the country original director for approval of your brand plan, it's approved. Implementation becomes easier because they have been part and parcel of the entire strategy development. You will have seen the holistic view of the customer, and you will have been able to know how to use technology, CRM, and email marketing to support the activity. And the salesman would have been told, technology to create a way to do. This is the way. Most popular technology used by customer alignment includes CRM. You use CRM as a way to help the customer journey so that talk to everybody, including those who are likely to say no. Because there have been some generation of special needs when it comes to somebody is playing with his with the screen. I think the person is working on annotation. I want to be able to clear all drawings here. Thank you. So analytical tools and so on and so forth, email marketing. So we need to find a way to work together on this. Sorry. I have to find ways to make my screen appears to have frozen briefly. Okay, so softwares. Number three, strategize together, like I mentioned to you. Just like we hold weekly meeting in sales, ensure that there's a weekly or at least monthly meeting between sales and marketing and fit for efficiency to look at things together. So it is in bringing people together. Agree on the customer persona. The customer persona is the description of the customer. The salesman goes to people who want them. But in reality, the marketers want you to go to the people with the highest potential. So the person with the highest potential must be described. It's the job of marketers to therefore describe that there are people who are in A class, who are people in A socioeconomic class, You can find somebody in a socioeconomic class in Iju, in Agege. They can find them in Ota. You can find them in Idiloko. You can find them anywhere. But the likelihood of finding them in Ikoyi is higher. So because of this, they are going to guide the salesman to say, my statement that Ikoyi is our primary focus, it's not an absolute statement. But the majority of the people we are looking for, they are in Ikoyi, so go to Ikoyi. That doesn't mean you cannot find them in the Diloko. It doesn't mean that you cannot find one or two in the Mowe, but the likelihood that when you go to 10 houses in Ikoyi, you will find 6 to 7 of them to have A-class people is higher. So you must describe the customer profile, the customer personnel, and the salesman must have an understanding. And as you agree on customer personnel, it helps you to be able to decide. You must agree on the processes of how to engage the customer personnel, right from the time they do not know anything to the time they will know somebody. From awareness to consideration to purchase to retention and advocacy. What role people in marketing will play, what role Fit Force efficiency will play, what role the Fit Force itself will play. And how are we going to get that data back? The data that the salesman gather from customer is usually biased. When the customer says, you don't call on me enough, the salesman will not write it in his report to say, the customer say, I don't call on him enough. So is the Fit Force efficiency will gather that. So, and most times salesmen don't sit with the consumer. And our customer do not think that they have a responsibility to give us insight from the consumer attached. That's why the Fit Force efficiency must do mystery shopping, research and everything to get the side of the consumer. Because your sales that you have made to the retailer is not sales yet. Let me give you a shock. That product you sold to retailer is not yet a sales, even though accountant said it's a sales. But as a marketer, it's not yet sales. Genuine sales is the one that the consumer has bought and has consumed. That is real sales. So we are only taking revenue from the perspective of we sold to distributor, we record it in our paper as sales. You collect the story of Cadbury years ago. They made sales to their distributor, but the distributor did not sell to the consumer. It was in the warehouses of the distributors. So in that particular case, sales has been made by Cadbury, but in reality, sales has not been made because the consumer has not consumed. They were still existing pricing. And so based on this methodology, a good marketer understands that it is the consumer sales that is genuine sales. So if we are selling 1 million into the trade in a quarter, and you are monitoring sales from retailers, and what is being sold from retailers to the consumer is less than 1 million, it means you are clogging the trade. You are only selling to the trade. It's not being consumed. That's an aspect that both salesmen and marketer must understand and agree. Is the Fit Force efficiency manager that's going to be monitoring what the retailers are selling. That gives you an idea. And remember, the Fit Force efficiency manager cannot go to all retailers nationwide. So what they do is to look at some retail outlets
Hello, sir. Wow. Network. Oh, we lost him due to network. Wow, 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 wow. Please, we'll just allow him a few seconds to come on again. This is what technology can do to us, once in a while. Thank you very much, everyone, for staying on. I'm sure we are getting value for our time. I mean, for me, this has been mind-blowing. I mean, but we'll just allow him some time to come back and finish up. I saw a few people asking if we will be, if they will be able to get the slides. Well, I'm not very sure of that. Maybe I will talk to LB, but what I am sure of is that you will be able to have access to the video. So yes, quite a number of plenty materials. You will say that again. You can say that again, Mr. Michael. So so the videos are going to be available for everyone. For those that are registered, I guess you will be able to get it from the email that you have shared with us. But if not, you could go to our website, to our learning portal, our academy. You will be able to see the link to the video, and then of course you'll be able to play it as many times as possible. I guess LB is back. I guess he's back. Please, you can come back on, sir. And I'm sure you were making a point. You are mute, sir. You're mute. And then you were making a point. We lost you at the point where you were talking about how to offload clogged stock in the dealers' stores. Yeah, that was the point that we lost.
Yes, the field force efficiency manager will be responsible for getting the information from the consumer. And so when you calculate that these 50 outlets nationwide, big retail outlets, they account for 2% of your total sales volume at floor price. Whatever they sell to the consumer, you work backward by discounting their margins so that to bring it to floor price equivalence of what they have sold. And that will give you an idea of how much the consumer has sold during the quarter. You can therefore know that when your sales is done, when the year is coming to an end, companies know the way they do it. They will just fill the trade with plenty of sales so that to be able to meet yearly incentive, yearly bonus. But that doesn't mean that you have sold to the consumer at that rate. So you must therefore get marketing to quickly step up marketing, demand, awareness, and co. Otherwise, your sales the following quarter is going to slow down. That's why people make a huge sales in the last quarter of the quarter. And the first quarter of a new year, their sales will dip. So it's not by accident. So, but you know already that you are going to do that. So you will have created good awareness from quarter 3. So that your sales in quarter 4 will not be artificial. It will be real. Consumption will align with it, and so on and so forth. That's the way to do it. So understand this line. Use a marketing first approach. A marketing first approach means when you are misaligned, it means when they are misaligned, everyone plays their own role. Marketing will create a campaign targeting one group of customers. Sales team will cold, call, email a different group of customers. Prospects are less likely to respond positively to cold calls or sales email. But when they are together, when they are aligned, and marketing says, we are going to be the first to raise awareness in social media. Don't talk to them yet. Based on the number that responded to what we do in social media, in email, bulk marketing, and so on and so forth, we will identify some people who are showing interest. They are the first group of people you should talk to. One, that reduces the wasted cold calls that salesmen will make. It means they are calling on the people who have shown some level of interest. They are already aware, they have shown some level of interest. What is required is a closure to overcome their objections and so on and so forth. So you must track joint KPIs. The meaning of joint KPIs is that don't put KPIs for marketing to just be run marketing campaign, advertise in newspaper. A fool can do that. In fact, you don't need a marketer. You can tell the agency to come and meet the MD. He will design the advertising and then the advertisement will be carried out. No. The marketing people must also have a joint goal. E.g., why for the salesman, the act of selling itself may account for 70% of his weight for sales objective. For a marketing person, make it not less than 50% of his weight for the same subjective, sales figure, so that if his marketing activity does not help sales to sell, then he will suffer the consequence as well. That is the way to do it. So they must have joint KPIs. The weight may be different. The weight for a salesman to generate, to close sales may be 70% of the weight, whereby for the marketing guy it can be 50 to 60%. So new account, how are your sales efforts measured beside the quota of absolute figure? E.g., new accounts, It should be included in your balance scorecard. Number of deals closed, the nuance and retention, how you upsell an existing customer with new products. So how are your marketing efforts measured? They use pipeline, lead quantity, lead quality, brand awareness. You see that there's a generally misalignment. Meanwhile, new account is the responsibility of both marketing and sales. Number of deals closed may be the responsibility of the salesperson, but the nuance and retention, a marketer also has a role to play there. Upselling, a marketer has a role to play. So when you are designing the KPIs for marketer, it will be a mix of both top and bottom. When you are designing the sales quota for salesmen, it will have some things both up and down. So your team is uniting under one common command when you learn how to have a joint KPIs. You'll be able to detect weak areas in your customer acquisition funnel and fix not just part of it, but the entire funnel, because both sales, marketing, and field force efficiency, they are already filling the entire funnel. So, and it will lead to revenue growth. Embrace uncomfortable conversations. What are uncomfortable conversations? For some other people, they call it crucial conversations. Crucial conversations is when marketing and sales sit down and say, sales, field force efficiency survey, our external market research, feedback from our customers, customer says, you are not doing this. We are not blaming you for blaming sake. Let's put a PO in place. So head of sales, tell us what we need to do to ensure this is sorted out this quarter. Marketers, you see that time you did your campaign and you did it with AMSD. It's not working. No, but because the doctor don't know the meaning of AMSD. So let's be honest with ourselves. Let's just use the language they use. And so that solves the problem. Now, crucial conversation requires the brand manager for combating to know that this product is not going to sell. Withdraw. And just put all the money I'm putting behind combating by three behind combating by three. Even though we didn't communicate it that way, but that is the way it is aligned in the psyche of the people. So marketing is not about what you think, it's about what the consumer wants. And so marketing starts with the consumer and ends with the consumer. A crucial conversation model is work on me before, work on yourself. You look at your heart, you look at your story. When the other side is talking, you state your part, you remain silent, you listen to the other people, their meaning, make it safe. You now look at something that is common to both sales and marketing. And then you move from there, and then you take action. So everybody must understand it. Centralized communication. Nobody should speak on behalf of marketing, and nobody should speak on behalf of sales. Let people come together and say, we, sales and marketing together, this is what we want to tell the consumer. This is what we want to tell our customer. A situation whereby you go to a distributor and say, marketing is supposed to be doing some things already, they are not doing anything, that's why you are not selling. I've done my job. You own have to say, we're supposed to have done some things in radio, it has not started, but we see whatever we can do. I work with my colleagues and then I will give you feedback as to what we are doing. So that's the way to do it. Centralized communication. Use customer feedback. There's something called VOC. You don't need to have problem to have a VOC. You must continuously measure voice of customer, voice of employee, voice of leadership, voice of customer, voice of employee, voice of consumer. Is the field force efficiency manager that is responsible for measuring all these voices. Some organizations, they call it market research manager. But you see, market research manager, if the person does a research in the market, no. A marketing research manager does a research not just in the market, but also on the marketing process. He evaluates the marketing manager to show that even his approach to marketing implementation of strategy is faulty. And so it takes a very senior person to be a field force efficiency manager. It's not somebody who is just, he knows how to use computer and can therefore play game with computer and do Excel. This guy is possibly a marketing manager himself who has passed through sales. He's sitting in a place that enables him to see what marketing is doing right, what sales is doing right, what they are not doing, and he's not afraid of any one of them to say, this is what I found out on the field. So it's more like an auditor who is trying to integrate marketing and sales, and at the same time, identify gap analysis. So if there's one thing you need to take away, you need to have a person who is more like a marketing efficiency manager, who is different from the marketing research manager. He's different from marketing manager. His position is as independent as that of the marketing manager. He doesn't report to the marketing manager. He reports to the person that the marketing manager reports to, because he will be reporting marketing. He is the one who is going to evaluate how much percentage of time the marketers spent on the field. Because marketers has a way of going to the hotel and staying in the hotel and be drinking beer. And they say they came on field visit. They won't work with the salesman. So you must ensure. And no, there's nothing called solo call. When a salesman says, a marketing manager says, I made a solo call, and it showed that salesmen are not working. That's not your job as a marketer. Your job is to work with the salesman jointly, not solo. The job of a marketing efficiency manager is to do a solo call. That's, these are different roles. The marketing person wants to demonstrate strategy work. The solo call person identifying that. That's why it's an independent role. So whatever title you give to either the marketing efficiency manager or a fit force efficiency manager, at least you have an idea of what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, feedback matters. And so it is these voices that provide feedback to us. Invest in sales enablement. So enablement can act as neutral conduit between marketing and sales. It's the ideal function to increase sales and marketing alignment. In the case of content, the sales enablement team, like a marketing efficiency manager, like a fit force efficiency manager, so they can ensure that assets are never presented to sellers without training and guidance on how to use them effectively. So you can't give brochure to the customer to say, give it to your customer, give it. You must tell them how to use it, you must train them. That is part of the job of efficiency manager. Just ensuring that, because salesmen don't have time to do all these things. Their job is, their brain is wired towards generating sales. So the things they need to do that doesn't generate immediate sales is not of interest to them. The marketer is interested in generating awareness and providing leads for salesmen to generate sales. And at times, when you want to get them involved to generate sales, it's not of major interest to them, unless you put it as part of their goal. So when you create an enablement team, you are creating a reliable conduit of information between organizations. You are allowing sellers and marketers to focus on what they do best. So keep marketing messages consistent. So when what you are saying and what the salesman is saying and what the consumer wants to hear is in alignment. Like when the doctors wanted to hear post-operative and post-traumatic pain, we had the salesman to start to use that phrase. Our brochure tallied with that statement. Our sales jumped up by 60%. That is the way it is. The word of the consumer is the right word, not the most creative word. In advertising, they say this is the most creative word. It doesn't work that way in marketing. In marketing, English does not matter. English, the correct English in marketing is to say, my name is not my name are. But in advertising, you can use my name are, and it will be acceptable. I remember the advert on Visine. The advert on Visine uses the word eyes that talk. I'm somebody of Yoruba origin. And in Yoruba origin, when you transliterate, Ojuton Soro. So, but you cannot use Ojuton Soro to sell to an Igbo man, to sell to an Hausa man. So we translated it to English. And it talks like eyes that talk, which doesn't make much sense because eyes does not talk. But by interpreting what the meaning of eyes that talk means in Yoruba language, other people captured it. Sales of our products increased by over 200% in less than 2 years. So we're selling something in the range of 50, 60,000 units. We were selling 200,000 units within a period of 2 years, just advertising eyes that talk, using Regina Askia as the model. She was in uni like that time, she had not become running up to Miss Nigeria. So all these things matter a lot. Your word that you use. So in marketing, there must be consistency in message. So we told the salesman, don't sell Visine as something that removes the red in the eye. No, you are correct, but we don't want you to say that. When you go to sell Visine, just say eyes that talk. We sell a product that makes your eyes to talk. So the product was therefore indirectly repositioned from being a prescription medicine that doctors write to something that ladies want to have in their bag as part of cosmetic. We started to sell the concept that wet eyes are much more romantic to men than dry eyes. And because a lot of ladies want their eyes to look romantic, they started to carry Vicodin and then they would apply a little bit to clear their red eyes and look more romantic. So the sales jumped up. It no longer depended on dry season of red eyes for us to sell. So we're able to sell both during the dry. So the most detrimental factor resulting from poor sales and marketing alignment is that there will be lost sales, customer a poor impression of organization, lack of trust, disjointed brand story, because sales will be saying one thing and they'll be passing back to each other, and the customer is sitting, knows that these people are not aligned, so you will not trust your company. Wasted effort and budget is spent on content marketing, strategy creation and distribution, which may not make sense, instead of using those content to generate leads for sales. Loss of qualified leads, deprive customer of a positive overall experience with the company, waste customers' time, and at the end of the day, many other factors. Ladies and gentlemen, there must be consistent messaging, there will be reinforcement of those same messages, and you'll be able to close small deals. I want to say you have to create marketing assets to close sales. The truth is that when you find a way to use content marketing and you use those marketing assets that align with what the sales have told you because of alignment, you'll be able to prospect two different stages of the sales funnel, from top of the funnel to middle of the funnel to bottom of the funnel. And the salesman knows that they have to work on the bottom of the funnel. But because they know what you are doing in the top of the funnel, they therefore ensure that their messages are aligned with the consistency of your blogs, your articles, your video, your ebooks, your case studies, and everything. But when you don't carry them along, you will not be saying the same thing to the ultimate, and the consumer is hearing one thing on tofu and mofu, but is hearing a different thing from bofu. So it is hearing the same thing on tofu, mofu, that ensure that bofu is saying the same thing. And repetition is the secret to learning. So repetition is the secret to salesmen, to customers understanding what you really wanted. Ladies and gentlemen, so you must let your salesmen understand what content you are sending to the prospect. So when complaint comes, they must also know. And you must tell them how they use the content. You must ensure that the frequency of collaboration between sales and marketing, sharing customer and market information, has a high marketing and sales alignment. When it has a low one, you can see it. So all this high sales marketing alignment helps you to share customer and market, use of content, target accounting, when to use content, content marketing, content creation, how to judge, how to ensure that buyer personnel are well. As I close today, it's important for you to know that sales process is a continuous process with marketing process. It's just the same funnel for which we are joining forces with ground forces, with those who are artillery, with the Air Force base, and all of us are playing different roles. In order to capture an island, all of us must work together. And that is the way we can make it ensure that we are able to retain, attract and retain our customers. Because attracting new customers is up to 6 to 7 times more expensive than retaining them. So when we work together, we're able to attract new customers better, and we're able to retain the old customers better. You must therefore join. And so example is leadership. It's not enough for you to listen to this lecture and go back and say, oh, powerful lecture. Oh, awesome. There are good things I would like to hear. No, I want you to be a disciple. I planted the seed in your life, water it, grow it, go back and have a strong desire to lead by example. If I'm marketing, be humble. Marketers are usually very arrogant because they think they deal with strategy. Be humble enough to walk straight to sales and say, I want you to help me. I want to work with you. I want to generate a quarterly, monthly, weekly plan of action together with you to make things happen. So come back in 5 minutes. So say a marketing alignment story at BSN and Pfizer. Having worked, I've had course to work with Pfizer, and I've shared some of the story with you. I've also worked in BSN for a few years now, and I know for over a decade, and I recognize the fact that we have tried to integrate the activity of the sales and marketing as shared responsibility. We're able to therefore learn on brand awareness and profile selling. We're able to build leadership. We're able to make use of CRM. And every week, there are materials coming from integrated marketing communication group that have been evaluated by people. I've shared with you the story of how we've had significant increase in revenue generation in Pfizer. The same thing has been repeated in BSN as well. We've had an increase of close to almost generation of leads of over 200%. Social media visits have been increased, one year by almost 261%. We have moved from impressions of less than 1,000 within a period of 2 to 3 years to over 50,000. Pfizer was another important year where I shared with you what happened 92 to 95. Ethical contribution moved from 40% to 61%. Must align when 2 or 2 people align together, there will be success. And remember that start your journey to greater alignment today by exploring how sales enablement can enable both marketing and sales to succeed. Sales and marketing are married. And because they are married, the husband is the marketer. The sales is the woman. And remember, the woman is the neck. And when the neck is not moving, the head cannot move conveniently. And so you will just kill yourself. It's the responsibility of the marketer to be humble enough to extend hands of unity to sales, to work with them in sales. The media expand the field to ensure that it becomes softer for us to be able to work on. And learning sales and marketing is a fantastic way to grow your business beyond what a separated sales and marketing team will be. By moving sales and marketing to a single S-marketing with marketing efficiency department or fit for the efficiency department, we're going to uncover unique insight to the sales process. We do fine-tuning and optimize our sales and marketing strategies as we grow new business opportunities and increase revenue. That's what we need to do to succeed with marketing and sales. So restructure the customer journey, develop and reach target customer persona, use marketing first approach in the tofu and mofu. So that when it gets to the bofu, sales can take over. Measure joint key performance indicators jointly, gather sales feedback and voice, match messaging across the whole campaign, create marketing-led sales attack, work together in pursuits and retention. I want to thank you that as you do this, God will ensure that you get to a level whereby you extract the most value from the prospect, from the customer, from the consumer, and you are growing your business and brand to new heights. Are your sales and marketing teams aligned? If so, how has your business benefited from it? If no, God bless you. Thank you to Autusbridge. Thank you to the group CEO for Autusbridge. Because the Autusbridge believes this is only business. No, he has many businesses. He's a group managing director. He has a lot of business ideas that are yet to come on board. And as he gives us this opportunity to interact, we want to thank everybody. Thanks to everybody. God bless you.
Wow, 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 wow. First, I would like
to thank you. That's
yes,
last place. See you on top of the mountain.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much, sir. On behalf of everyone, I want to thank you so much for sharing this knowledge. There has been so much abundance today. I know myself, and I'm going to go back and look at this over again. There is so much for me to take. I mean, I just went to Harvard and came back this afternoon. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you so much. And I'm sure you have addressed some of the questions that you shared earlier. We are going to allow maybe 1 or 2 people to make comments or share questions. But before we do that, I have something to show you quickly. Okay. Just before we do that, briefly. I'm sure you have enjoyed what what you've heard today. You are seeing a combination of practice and academics. That's what we have seen today. So I'm not surprised. So just to let you know, LB is the Chief Executive of Business School Netherlands. Like I posted earlier, I'm a product of this school, and I'm so happy to be associated with Business School Netherlands. I'm sure if you Google them, you will be able to see. And one of the things that stood out for me when I wanted to do my MBA, and I had to decide for Business School Netherlands in 2013, was the flexibility. Yes, was the flexibility. And then write about 9 projects. Yes, 9 different researches for me to be able to get my MBA. So that's it. So you become a researcher, you become practical, you become a solution provider. So we work from asking questions to providing answers in Business School Netherlands. So I'm sure for those of us that are thinking about in adding more feathers to our career, I'm sure you want to look at Business School Netherlands. Go to the website and then you'll be able to provide get more information from there. Then, of course, I will quickly also want to tell you about sales, our sales academy. We have programs. I'm going to do this very quickly, please. We have 4-level certification programs that we have put out, and people are registering for it. For people that are already in sales, you want to transit from a manager of you can access. Of course, for young people, you don't have so much budget. Yes, we also have our learning portal where you can take online courses, sales-related online courses for just 2,950 naira. And then, of course, as a technology company, I had so much of it this afternoon. We provide some automation solutions. That some people would prefer to call CRM to organizations, where you can, improve the efficiency and then provide more information, be able to gather on the field information, on the spot information about your business. Then we also have something for the small businesses, that they can use, to manage, sales and inventory and all of that. Like you can see in the picture, that portable handheld device can replace the bogus POS machine that you have in your shop, and then you have to ensure that you have a generator or you have a UPS or a power backup or solar system to be able to power. This device that you are seeing is just a rechargeable device, Android device, free software that we can use to sell and manage your business. And then, of course, there's a back office end that you can use your computer to access. And then that's the bit, that I just wanted us to talk about briefly. So I'm going to allow just 3 people, because I'm sure we have done so much today. Allow about 3 people to ask questions. So please quickly identify by raising your hand, and then I can, let me just stop the share. So if you would like to ask questions from Professor, just raise your hand, and then you can quickly unmute, and then we can allow you to ask your questions. Otherwise, I believe if we call it a day at this point, I think so much has been deposited in us as sales and marketing people. I see a lot of people here, and I want to appreciate everyone for coming in this afternoon. So please, can we have 1 or 2 questions that you think has not been covered and you would like to ask? Okay, Mary Jo, please can you, questions in the chat. Okay, so Mary Jo, please can you go ahead, can you unmute yourself and quickly ask your question? And then I can see Emmanuel. Emmanuel, yes, please. So just unmute and ask your question quickly.
All right, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
I want to say a very big thank you for this opportunity. It's like a reminding of what we know coming up from the little things that we have also forgotten. So this is really a wonderful one. I want to ask Prof. First about the slides, like you said, Mr. Benga, whether we'll have opportunity to get that. So you have to beg on our behalf, if that will be possible, to help us always go back. And then secondly, I would also like to ask Prof. Manager, marketing director, and the brand managers. And these different positions tend to a kind of, I don't know, I'm not really being able to differentiate these 3 different segments he's talking about as well. And then the field effect. Now, can we get a distinct difference between these different roles? Because we also have head of sales and marketing in some places. We have marketing managers, we have product managers, we have brand managers, we have marketing directors.
different
exactly. Names
Okay.
and all are revolving around marketing.
All
yes,
right.
that's the second question. I also have another one, so let me just spell it out. Now, I would also want to ask Prof, what would he say of a brand manager or a marketer who has already aligned with his team in some strategies that has been put to play, and it's already a team agreement, but in the long run discovers that the strategies are not really implemented or executed to the 100% mark, not even 80% mark. Then going back again to do, let's say, a kind of re-meeting or trying to remind them of the agreement and all that, carrying them along. And still in the end of the day, you still don't find that same strategy which has been agreed and believed to be able to be executed, which you yourself as a brand manager has gone out, like you said, be on the field, experience it as a salesperson, because I have also tasted both parts. So I can't assume from the other end because I have to manage, look at how realistic it can actually be. So after doing that, and in the end, you still also see that the execution, which you are also expecting to be 100%, isn't still at that mark.
Okay, Mary
for
Jo,
a brand
please,
manager,
I think you can, yeah, I mean, I think you can just, yes, let Prof, so that others can also ask, yes.
Okay,
please.
okay, that's
yes.
fine, that's fine.
Yes, sir, you need to, okay. You need to unmute, sir. You are mute,
I'm just saying you should just raise the questions. I understand the detail of the remit. You should just address the question that I will provide answers to them. No problem.
Okay, sir. So do we have more questions? So let's take all the questions together. Do we have anyone? Okay, there was someone, Emmanuel. Okay, can the department have a separate sales manager, a marketing manager under a single? Okay, so he's still talking about organogram, similar to the question that Mary Jo asked. But that what's the typical organogram for an organization that wants to be aligned, that wants to align both functions? What is the organogram that you would recommend? I think that should be the way to frame the question. Then, any other question for we to close this session, the question and answer session? Do we have anyone? Okay, sir. No one is indicating, so I think you can just go ahead and answer the three questions. Organogram, and then I think she was also asking if she's done everything that she needed to do, and then things seems not to be working. And I guess from the way she was talking, it seems the salespeople are not cooperating well enough. That's my assumption.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Let me start from the last question, which is, if the salespeople are not cooperating well enough, is the function of the marketing person to look for ways to sell the strategies to the salespeople. And once you are a marketer, you are no longer just a functional person. Your pathway to leadership has begun. Either you are called a brand manager, or you are called a product manager, you are called whatever title you bear, because you are like an army general who do not have foot soldiers. Your foot soldiers are in sales, and you do not have authority over them. They report to the salesperson. So when you are a product manager and brand manager, it's the best time for you to learn leadership skill, how to influence people you do not have authority over. So, and one of the ways for you to have significant influence over the people in sales is for you to be humble. And I've just mentioned to you, once you promote somebody from sales to marketing, it just feels as if I'm now everything. They feel as if everybody should read it in their face that I was in sales. And I wasn't such a bad person in sales before I became a product manager or things like that. No, it's not like that. That's the time, the process of humility, learning to be humble. It's not enough for you to say, I was in sales and I did it well. When I was in sales. No. You go to the field. You identify the 80-20 rule. You identify the 20% of your field force that generates 80% of the turnover of that brand, that you are brand manager. You will work with them. And as you work with them, you will show them how to get it done. Because you are practically with them on the field, you can see the challenge they are faced with. You are helping to help them handle that challenge. When you leave their territory, they are happier. They say, it showed me practically, I never believed it was possible. But when the brand manager, the product manager, the market manager came around and they did it in front of my customers with me. I've learned what I could not pick up in the last 3 years on how to do it better. So and please also remember Pareto's principle. When you have 100 salesmen on the field, you can't get 80% of them to buy into your strategy overnight. There's something called idea life cycle. It's like a product life cycle. Only about 3% will buy into it initially before it is started. When it starts, 3% plus another 30% will make 16%. It's like the introductory phase of a product life cycle. Then it is when there's innovators, when they have started it well. When I'm talking of innovators, salesmen who buy into your strategy, when they've started and they have done well, that the other will start to say, oh, this thing appears to be working for these people who are utilizing, I better embrace this as well. And then a time will come, you still have some laggards, about 15 to 16% of the salesmen who never believed in you as a person, who does not believe in any strategy you come up with. You will be starting a new strategy before they will remember the old strategy we introduced 3 years ago. So ideas also have its own life cycle. Identify the people who will not resist your idea, work with them on the field, work on Pareto's principle, and ensure that you make your strategy to be, because you don't need to work with every salesman to make your strategy work. Work with the top 20% of the salesmen nationwide to demonstrate that your strategy works, and 80% of your output is going to be done by those 20%. And before you say it, like Robinson, the balance of 80% of salesmen will start to buy into it, and it becomes the norm over a period of time. The second question, another question is, so when your strategy is not working, look at your approach to strategy. Are you speaking strategy from position of knowledge? And when I speak position of knowledge, you can't discuss strategy with salesmen the way a professor would discuss strategy in class with his students. As if they are your students, you are teaching them strategy. When you're a brand manager, you're a marketing manager, you will say, these are the issues we are faced with. You will say, these are the issues we are facing. Then you say, what are your ideas on what we need to do to transform, to generate to generate additional sales, to boost our sales, to double our sales. Then they will tell you all the things they said that they have thought within themselves. And you allow everybody to speak. Then you now come up with your own. So remember that some of the ideas you have, they've already stated. So you'll be taking it in your notebook to show that this one has been taken. Then you have one or two ideas that they have not covered. Remember one or two ideas that you have, you don't keep it to yourself. Prior to that meeting, you will have discussed one of these two ideas with 2 or 3 of the salesmen who are top performers, who are coming for that meeting. Then on their own, they will now be the one who will say it. You not say, do you think it works? You say it works. Then one of them will say, I remember you discussing something with me a few weeks ago about this. I think it will, let's try it as well. So by the time you finish the strategy session with salesmen, it is their strategy, not yours. So you come back to them and you communicate with them and say, I came here with a lot of problems. Listening to you today has lifted up a lot of body in my heart. Look at the strategy you have put together, and we ensure it is implemented the way you have designed it. Now, I know you own it. I know you will make it happen. I have no doubt in my mind. It's not a case of marketing giving you strategy. It's a case of you developing practicable, pragmatic marketing strategy by salespeople for the salespeople. And I put all the flesh in it. I will get the necessary approval from senior management, and I will let you know as soon as management gives it approval. That is a strategy they buy into. But because you have a strategy, as soon as a salesman is coming to your office, you cover your paper. You want it to be confidential. You are going to share it on a day. If somebody asks a question, that derails the entire strategy, that's the end of that strategy. So it makes more sense for you to discuss that strategy in a close knit with few salesmen who will derail it. And then you can look at how can you solidify it. And then you ask somebody among them to say, who is going to be the lead to introduce this idea when we have the sales marketing strategy session. So a marketing people doesn't have to come out all the time to be the one to lead in strategy. You will coordinate the thing, but doesn't mean that the idea must come from you. So you will now tell them on their own and say, this is your strategy that you develop. Our job is to coordinate that there's a practicable, implementable, executable strategy. And I'm so happy sales has played very key part. 80% of the strategies here is from you people. And so you will now look at, as a marketer, you now say, we have 10 strategies or 10 tactics or 10 initiatives. In order to make it work well, this is the order that it will work. And then you suggest it to them again to have their input, because this order is better because it generates better synergy than this other order. So it's not a case of us pursuing 10 initiatives at the same time. If one of us start with this, we will flow into this and this will work and pursue. This is the way. So that's the way to do. Thank you. In terms of structure, I must confess to you that you don't set up a structure in a company first and then pursue and then see what strategy are we going to pursue. Never. You first start with the vision, with the goal, with the objective, with the strategy. And part of the strategy itself is the structure. Part of the strategy itself is the structure. What that means that you develop your structure to align with where you are going. If there's a gap between marketing and sales in your organization, then the more you integrate marketing and sales at the lower end, the better for your organization. If that gap gives you good results, no problem. But if that gap doesn't give you, because it is the gap of divide and rule in the past that some companies are still using till now, whereby there's a strong separation. In fact, today, there's no separate marketing and sales team again. Both sales and marketing, they work together as one single team, pursuing a particular product. They go to the field together. So it's like a team that is marketing a particular product, in which case salesmen are inside, marketing strategists are inside, but it's a team. And so you see some multinationals using that methodology. But it works for some, it doesn't work for some. You have to look at what works for you. Rather than experimenting, it's your overall objective that matters in terms of what works for you. So for some objective, it requires very close integration. For some, it may not require it. I'm coming from fast-moving consumer goods background. I've also marketed telecoms before, and I'm also marketing educational services now. I can tell you, in all those three areas that I've worked personally, I consult for a number of different industries. The more you integrate marketing and sales at the lowest level, the better for that company. Because 5 times 5 will be 25. 5 plus 5 is 10. When you integrate marketing and sales, it's 5 times 5. And it will create a synergy that produces 25. Then when you have them separately and they produce 5 plus 5, that makes 10. So you can see that there's a big difference. So I want to encourage you all to please integrate, use the structure that suits you. The titles doesn't matter. Either they are called product manager, brand manager, it doesn't matter. A marketer is a marketer. And a salesperson is the person who closes sales. A business development manager is a marketer with a strong sales zeal. And there are some business development manager, their job does not include closing sales. They just generate awareness. They leave the closing of sales to the salesperson, because their function is an integration of marketing and sales function. So they are not at the top tofu, they are in the middle, and from there they hand over to the people who are going to make final sales to happen. I want to thank you, Uncle Gwenga Johnson, as well as the Autusbridge group for this innovation and for the consistency, for your resilience, for this inspiration you brought to several people based on your monthly project. I envy you. I'm inspired by what you do. I wish I have the energies of Gwenga to do the same thing for BSN. And I look forward to learning more from you and working with you as BSN to be able to bring the best to your various customers. So we can get more students in school for the MBA program. I want to say thank you for giving us free advertisement because your first slide was on BSN, the foundation of whoever you had today. BSN played some part, and I'm very impressed that you sold BSN. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you so very much, sir.
There's a question about, am I going to give full slide? Yes. You will get the slide for any of them who have the, what do you call it? Those who have, you know, I will send it to you by WhatsApp. So those of them who have WhatsApp, you can send to them. You can send to them by email.
Wow, fantastic.
You can have my slides like that. There's nothing special about it.
Wow.
Thank you very, very much, sir. Thank you, sir. We appreciate. Thank you very much, sir. Then Mr. Glinga Johnson, we thank you.
I was going to place a price on that slide. I was going to charge people $1,000.
I know.
Thank you so much. I don't know how to thank you enough for what you have done for us today. And then on top of it, to say that you're going to pass this slide to us. There are things that I've never honestly,
Michael, you know well.
There are things that I have not seen before. Honestly,
let me be president of IFE, my wife. Nigerians will treat me with their problems.
Thank you so very much, sir. And I want to thank everyone for showing up today. I mean, if we had this, if Prof has been here and there's nobody to join, I don't know what I would have been telling him that, sir, you know, that yes, we invited people. So at some point we got over 60 people, you know, on this.
I saw it.
Yes, thank you so very much. And I know that quite a number of people would have also loved to be here. Thank you so much, sir. And I want to thank you. And I know that, you know, that people like us will always be Oliver Twist, but it's not going to be very soon because I know you are a very busy person. I know that sometime again, when you tell me, okay, I'm free, if you have anything, we will always have something to call you back.
2023.
Please put your calendar, sir. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you everyone for coming. I appreciate everyone. A lot of people have, you know, left comments, very good complimentary remarks. You know, quite a number of people are saying thank you. You know, so I'm extending that to Prof. Thank you very much, sir.
And some of us are coming directly for our training at Autusbridge. I can't wait. I'm going to incorporate my time again by next month. I must come for a crash program, even if it is 2 weekends.
And then
I must incorporate it. I've been exposed this time around now. I'm coming around. I'm going to do my payment. I'm coming straight. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you, Prof. Good afternoon, sir.
My mentor. I didn't know you are here. I just saw you now.
A pleasure having you, sir.
Oh, God, I know you're my mentor.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you, sir?
Wow.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you for the knowledge that you have shared. And my prayer is that God will continue to keep you for us, sir. In Yoruba land. In Yoruba language. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Thank you for putting this together. Let's keep going strong. Well done, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. Had to struggle just to get by every day, and I could barely find my way. Ṣùgbọ́n mo mọ̀ pé mo lè ṣìnà. Mo rí pé ayé lè ṣòro. Forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance. Oh, I'm already gone, so just pray for me. chance. Oh, I'm already gone, so just pray for me. Woke up one Sunday morning, told my daddy I'm leaving home. I'm going off to the city tomorrow, even though I don't know where to go. And daddy says, son, don't be a fool, 'cause life in the city is unbelievable. Get broken, oh, you're just a little boy, and you may never find your way. And I said, I know I could get lost. I know I could get broken. Forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance. Oh, I'm already gone, so just pray for me. Pray I find my way. Oh, forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance. Oh, I'm already gone, so just pray for me. Pray I find my way. Oh, forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance. Oh, I'm already gone, so just pray for me. Hello, Daddy, how you doing? Hope Mama's doing okay. Been 4 years and 11 months now. Long, it was true what you said to me. But life in the city is unbelievable. Had to struggle just to get by every day, and I could barely find my way. Ṣùgbọ́n mo mọ̀ pé mo lè ṣìnà. Mo rí pé